The Workflow Manager allows site administrators to lay out how pages will be handled during the publishing process. The Workflow Manager automatically directs the page to the appropriate approver based on preset guidelines. In the Workflow Manager, pages can be distributed to approvers based on 3 possible criteria. A page can be assigned to an approver, meaning regardless of the editor working on the page, it will always be sent to the particular user for approval. The work particular editors can be sent to an approver without consideration for the page which is being published. Posts in particular categories, for news, alerts, and the blog and the media center, can be sent to an approver. Note that users with administrator access will always bypass the approval workflow. Their work will be published without going through the approval process. This video will walk you through creating the single-step workflow. A basic workflow consists of a single step between the editor and publishing the page to a live site. To create a basic workflow, in the utility bar click on the More option, followed by Workflow Manager version 2 or Workflow Manager. You should only have one of these. This will open the workflow interface. In the workflow pane, click the Add a Workflow icon. This will open the workflow form dialog. Fill out the name field and a description for your new workflow. The description will appear as a tooltip when you mouse over the name of your workflow. Make sure you use a name that provides some indication of what the workflow will be used for. Once you are finished, you can click Save. Select the name of your new workflow in the workflow pane. Then click Add Workflow Step icon in the workflow step. This will open the workflow step form. Enter a name and a description for your workflow step. If you would like the approver to receive email notifications via email when a page is waiting for approval, select the notification box. Steps are also used if you want multiple levels of approval. A single step workflow will send the approval request to the approver, who will then send it out to the live site. Adding a second step will require that yet another approver accept the page before it goes live, and so forth. It may be wise to number your steps to keep who approves who organized. You then can select the name of your new step in the workflow step pane. Then click the Add Workflow Step Approver icon. And this will open the Workflow Step Approver form. From the Approval pull-down, select the user or group who will be responsible for approving pages attached to the first step of this workflow, and click Save. You can repeat this step if you would like to add additional approvers to the workflow. It can often be helpful to have at least one backup approver for each workflow step in case the main approver is unavailable. Note that either approver can provide publishing permission. Approvals from both are not required. Sites generally have fewer user groups than pages, making this the preferred method for setting up workflow. This also makes tracking the approval process more intuitive for administrators, thus simplifying maintenance. For this reason, we are only showing Add User Groups to the workflow in this video. To add a user group to the workflow, click the Add a Workflow Assigned User Group icon. This will open the Workflow Assigned User form. Select a user group from the drop-down and click the Save button. Note that the language is not relevant, as the approval process is based on the user group of the editor making the change and not a specific page. And that is how you set up workflows.